Hello to all peeps, my name is Zanabila. Today I'm going to share with you guys about unethical behavior in workplace, which is fraud. What is fraud? According to Oxford Dictionary, fraud is a wrongful or criminal decision intended to result in financial or personal gain. You often hear about fraud in the news, or you may know someone who has fallen victim to fraud. Fraud is part of criminal scheme. Fraud is general term for a variety misconduct. For example, check tampering, expenses reimbursement manipulation, or inflating report hour. Fraudulent activity can be carried out by one individual, multiple individuals, or a business firm as a whole on a timesheet are typically frauds. Article about fraud in workplace is from Berita Harian Online. Private employees fraud customer RM16,100 Malaysia. An employee at a private company here is suspected of committing fraud by taking customer money amounting RM16,100 Malaysia for personal use. The employee is suspected of receiving payment from the customer but did not hand over to the company, instead using the money for personal gain. To raise an awareness of fraud, we need to identify the potential fraud in our organization. There are three characteristics of fraud, which is intent, deception, and actual or attempted injury or loss to a victim. Usually, someone that commits fraud has setting the goal to gain profit. Intent means that the perpetrator of the fraud did not make a mistake. The perpetrator thought about it and meant to commit a misconduct. Fraud also involves some form of deceit in the furtherance of misconduct, such as lying the manager, co-worker, and client, or covering up the facts. And the third characteristic, there is usually a victim of fraud. Fraud results in a victim being injured financially or incurring the loss of something they value. The value of loss can be tangible, like money, or physically asset, and can be tangible, such as self-esteem. Why people commit fraud? The motivation for a fraud is usually material gain, something tangible like money, and intangible gain like reputation or even revenge. There are several examples of fraud in workplace, such as stealing cash or equivalent, or use of corporate credit cards for unauthorized purchases and fabricated receipts. I will give some tips to prevent fraud in workplace. First, increasing the perception of detection. As manager or owner of company, make sure employees are aware that dishonest act will be punished. The opportunity to commit fraud is easier to rationalize when employees believe their wrongful acts will be go undetected and unprosecuted. Second, reduce the risk of fraud by including surprise audits as part of your proactive fraud policy. All too many notable fraudsters knew that the auditors would come, allowing them time to alter, destroy, or misplace evidence of their wrongdoing. Lastly, segregate duties. Don't leave an employee in a position to correct their own work. Independent checks serve as a deterrent to fraud. If people know their work is being watched, they are less likely to commit fraud. That's all from me. I hope this video will give you with some basic information that we can use to prevent fraud in our organization. Thank you for lending your attention.